Today's stories include Nintendo Switch 2's announcement might not come until next year. Star Wars Outlaws is promising big changes, and Assassin's Creed wants to tell a good modern story again. We'll have all this and more because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Yo, what's up? Welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Tuesday, November 5th, 2024. I'm one of your hosts, Blessing, Adeoye Jr. Joining me is the Master of Hype, Snowback Mike.
Bless, what's good, homie? Good to see you.
Good to see you
Back
too.
again for day 2 in a row of Games Daily with you here at the desk. Very excited to get after it.
Do you see they took tomorrow away from us?
What?
They took tomorrow away from us.
Pretend like you didn't say that to me. I'll address that at a later time.
But they did give us back a day, because I believe Thursday is going to be back me and
little
you
flip
again.
flop.
Yeah, so
Okay.
a little flip, because I heard the streets are saying that tomorrow we're doing a little Pokemon TCG review. Oh, I just lost. No.
Okay,
God,
okay.
no. Ah, fuck. This is why I don't put on auto.
I'm on auto right now, and I'm winning, Bless. And I want you to know that last night I got home, and of course, I streamed some Sonic X Shadow Generations.
Wow.
Did I
look
say
at
the
you.
X? What's that in the middle?
I genuinely don't
Cross.
know.
Okay.
I say cross because, like, usually with names like that, it's cross.
Yeah.
And cross just sounds cooler, so
So-
I'll say Sonic Cross Shadow.
I mean, it's like a time they're like multiplying.
Yeah.
Some would say they're fucking.
Wow, that's crazy.
Wait, what are the Sonic fans?
So I played some Sonic and Shadow Generations. Then last night got in bed and I said, Bless, man, you and we kicked so much butt over the weekend here with Pokemon. What do I have left? And I turned on and they heard our calls.
They heard our calls.
They put on a limited time event last night and it's on and popping, Bless.
Dude, I'm so happy because I was worried because some of the streets were telling me that based on, like, I forget, it was data mining or some rumors that we're not going to get any update until like January
crazy.
or like next year for like a new season or whatever. So I'm like, I can't be stuck with these 3 packs. I can't be stuck with I can't be stuck with what just the game is for the next few months. Like, it's gonna die.
Yeah.
And the fact that already we're hitting us with an event, giving me
Yes.
new single player challenges to do. I love that.
Yeah, I like it because it's giving you also specialty, like, event cards. And so you'll open up these packs and then you'll see there's a small little section of, hey, here's the areas for event cards. And I'm already filling that section in, getting a special Pikachu,
Love that.
a Mankey. There's a couple other ones in there that I've got, the Lapras, of course.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm having fun. I will say the final challenge, out of the 5 challenges they give you, 2 of them are win 10 and win 20 matches, which is a lot to just keep coming back to. So that's why I put you on. I'm on auto battle as we speak.
Yeah, you just gotta go.
So I created.
What do you have in that deck? Because you're doing an electric deck because the event is like a Lapras event,
Yes.
so it's water. Pokemon
This one
that
has
we're
a
facing.
Zapdos, has a couple of Pikachus,
Ooh,
a
you just
Raichu
won another
in there.
one. Look at you.
And yeah, I've just won. So I will I tore through about 10 matches last night on auto. I'll go for another 10 today to complete the 20, and I'll be done with the event.
Again, you gotta tell me what's in, because, like, I'm struggling. I just put on auto. It's got me a loss. I got a Pikachu X in this deck. Why am I losing? I got a Zapdos X in this deck. Why am
You
I
gotta
losing?
get a couple, bro. Is right. So I'm really happy that we have more Pokemon to play, which is great.
Hell yeah. What's up with this Halo box?
Of course, we are nearing the 20th anniversary of Halo 2 here on Saturday, November 9th. And we have a Halo story coming up. And I just wanted to bring the Halo vibes again, Bless.
Yeah.
I'll talk about it with you, but Halo 2 was very special in my life. This was the game that changed my life and probably also ruined a small piece of my academic life because of this, I never studied or really worried about school ever again.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of Halo 2 news for us to talk about and some good memories as well.
That's got to be a topic at some point. Is what
Yeah.
game changed your life for the worse?
Yes.
Because for me, it was GTA 5. When
Oh,
GTA 5 came
snap.
out, it was
Yeah.
2013. I was in my junior year of college, and my grades just tanked that year. I was
no.
playing GTA 5 for the rest of that semester. It was ridiculous, but thankfully I didn't have to drop out of college.
That's
I
a
did
great
good
topic.
enough.
That's a
That's
great
good.
topic.
Let's get into the show. Remember, this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday, we run you through the nerdy news you need to know about live on YouTube, Twitch, and on podcast services around the globe. If you love what we do, support us with the Kinda Funny membership on Patreon or on YouTube to get all our shows ad-free, watch us record them live, and get a daily exclusive show. For a chance to be a part of the show, submit your thoughts and opinions as YouTube Super Chats as we go. Housekeeping for you. Greg's going to be at the Limited Run Games and Shopify pop-up in New York City. That's right, Greg's meeting and greeting in the Big Apple from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Saturday. Kevin Smith Jason Mewes and Jared Petty will also be there, but more importantly, so will the Game Awards 2015 Trending Gamer. So RSVP for Saturday at kindafunny.com/NYC.
That's a cool lineup of people.
Really
go out
cool
and see
lineup.
Greg. It's really exciting that Greg's out there meeting and greeting and hanging out, so go see him.
Remember, we're an 11-person business all about live talk shows. So today, after KFGD, you're going to get GAMESCAST, which is going to be our Life is Strange Spoilercast. Life is Strange double exposure. We've beaten it. Greg's beaten it. I believe Joey's beaten it. We're going to actually finally talk about it, which I'm very excited for.
I like that.
There's some shit to break down in this game. And then after that, we got a stream. It is a sponsored stream. We're playing some Death Note Killer Within. And so tune in for that. It's going to be a stacked cast of
Yeah,
people.
that one's going to be an exciting one. Another social deduction game with Death Note. I know you and I like the anime of Death Note, so it's going to be kind of exciting. I know Roger played just a little bit beforehand to kind of get us prepped and ready, and I'm excited to get everybody together and play something like this.
Heck yeah.
You and I loved Among Us back in the day.
That's the
so,
thing
like,
is, like,
we
didn't
like these games.
We were talking yesterday. I was like, we didn't do enough with Among Us.
Yes.
Like, I think if we went harder with Among Us, which I was willing to do, I would have sold my life to Among Us back in 2020.
I know you would
back in
have.
2021, I would have played Among Us 24 hours a day every single day for this company.
Yep.
And we didn't go hard enough.
No.
And now, guess what? We're not friends with Valkyrie and Pokemon and Ninja. You know,
Yeah.
like, we would be on that level if we had
One day.
doubled down on Among Us.
Let's see how today goes.
You
We
should have
got
let
some
me
fun.
work. If you're a Kind of Funny member, today's Gregway asks the question, does Kevin Smith make Greg nervous?
Oh.
Thank you to our Patreon producers, Delaney Twining and Carl Jacobs. Today we're brought to you by Phasmophobia and BetterHelp, but we'll tell you about that later. For now, the gym is breaking. Let's begin with what is, and forever will be, the Roper Report. It's time for some news. We have 7 stories today.
A baker's dozen.
It was just a funny visual looking up and seeing the camera slowly just going away
That was
from
a
us.
surprise for me too.
Let's start off with story number 1. Analysts say that the Nintendo Switch 2 announcement is now unlikely before the end of 2024. This is Wesley Yinpool at IGN. With the video game world waiting with bated breath for Nintendo to announce the inevitable Switch 2, analysts have said it is now unlikely that the company will say anything before the end of 2024. The Switch is now in its 8th year, and sales have continued to fall, with Nintendo today cutting its revenue and profit forecasts for the current financial year. All Nintendo has said is it will announce the Switch successor by the end of the current fiscal year, which means an announcement by the end of March 2025. Despite the pressure Nintendo is under, company president Shuntaro Furukawa today said that there was no change to the company's plan to announce its next-gen console in the current fiscal year, but failed to go into specifics according to Reuters. So, when will Nintendo finally pull the curtain back on Switch 2? Reuters quoted Toyo Securities analyst Hideki Yasuda, who said an announcement is unlikely by the end of the calendar year. Quote, making an announcement this year has gotten quite difficult, Yasuda said. Quote, you would not want to divert attention to an upcoming console in the middle of the critical year-end shopping season, end quote. If that prediction is on the mark, fans now face having to wait until January at the earliest for a Switch 2 announcement. As for a release date, the console is not expected to launch during Nintendo's current financial year, so April 2025 at the earliest. Mike?
Yeah.
What does this do for you?
Yeah, this one does for me of like, we just have to continue to sit and wait and hope and kind of guess when we'll see it. But I think that final quote really does it for me on the business side of things.
Mm-hmm.
It would be unwise business-wise to announce the Switch 2 right ahead of the holidays. You are still going to catch people buying the Switch here this holiday season. They're going to buy games for the Switch, and then you announce the Switch 2. There would be no reason to announce it now, have people wait 6 to 8 months when it finally releases to then buy that. Now, of course, the Switch sales are going down because it's been 8 years, but you still will get stragglers. There's no question. We know every holiday season there are parents out there around the globe that will buy consoles, and the Switch is going to be one of those consoles. So it seems right business-wise, and that's really the icing on the cake for me. It's like, oh yeah, that's the right thing to do.
Yeah, I've been thinking back to the Wii U to Switch transition, and I think me and Tim in our predictions were thinking that I was going to go a similar way. But the more I think about it, especially coming off of this story about the dip in sales that you see for Nintendo hardware currently, now that we're 8 years into the Switch life cycle, I think it does make sense for them to go, hey, let's play this holiday out, let's let the Switch do its thing, because this is inherently different from what the Wii U transition to the Switch was, right? Wii U was dead. It was DOA, right? Like it sold, chat, you can correct me if I'm wrong, what, like 13 million units or something like that, right? It was not a selling console. By the time you got around to the Switch, I think it was the thing of just announce it, like get it out in front of people. We don't care if it cannibalizes the Wii U because guess what? The Wii U isn't doing anything anyway.
Yeah.
I think right now with the Switch, even a low period for the Switch, I imagine they're still selling a lot of units compared to just your regular game console. And so let's not step on it for the rest of the year. That does make me wonder and think about, like, what does that look like for announcing a Switch, let's say in 2025, and the road to release? Like, Mike, if you had to get into speculation station.
Yeah.
Roger, I don't know if you have speculation station ability.
Can we get that little?
If you had to go to speculation, there it is.
Thank you.
Thank you, Roger. If you had to go to speculation station, when do you think we get the first announcement / reveal of the Switch 2? And then when do you think we get release?
Yeah, that's going to be the fun one, is how fast is the turnaround time? In my mind, I have two speculations on this one. Here's my first one. Would go March. I think January, February, you kind of come down off the holidays. We announce in March. And then I promise you June is the release date. So we have a quick, tight turnaround on that. I know that's kind of tight with 3 windows, but I would like that business-wise of, here's the announcement. Let's get them out this summer. Let's get people excited. Then I can hit you with the second wave of sales in the holidays. Now, how I think it will probably go, announcement in March, full blowout in June during the E3 old season, and then sales in the holidays is how that will go.
Oh,
what do you think about it? See, now I
Don't
don't want
say
that.
that.
I don't want to keep waiting. I don't want to keep holding out for the Switch 2, but I think that's kind of probably how it will go. I don't know if that tight turnaround of 3 months is going to happen, because it would be announcements, pre-orders, and then sales immediately in June. I think it will be announcement, blowout, pre-orders in June, and then sales in November, December window, whatever.
yeah. I don't think that's a bad prediction at all. I still lean towards, I think we'll see it come out in the first half of the year.
Okay.
So I think
Their first half or our first half?
the calendar year. So like before
Yeah.
June
Okay.
is where I'm at. Just because like it was originally said that the Switch 2 was supposed to come out this fall, and then they ended up pushing it into next year.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if you push a Switch 2 all the way, like a full calendar year forward. It's not impossible, you know. In fact, I don't even think it's unlikely, but I would just be surprised if you push it out that far, right? For what you imagine has to be them wanting to make sure that they're getting the launch library right. I think,
course.
especially right now with how the Switch 1 sales have dipped, I think you want to have this out earlier. Maybe you can get a couple of waves of, like if you put out in June, get that first wave of sales, and then come holiday season, you get a second wave of sales. I think Nintendo, they're really good about sitting on software and like having things ready to go. And so like if we're gonna do a repeat of last time, where first half of the year we got Zelda Breath of the Wild, and then the second half of the year you got a Mario Odyssey, right? In between that you got games like ARMS or Splatoon 2, I believe was
You
that
got to
last
have
year.
fun ones like that, yeah.
Yeah, like I think they want to have a similar sort of situation. I think if you can come out in June and launch with a Mario or a Mario Kart or something that's major like that, right? And then come out later in the year with another major title, I think that'd be pretty big. And I think they want that, like, at least 6 months of hype for the Switch.
Yeah.
I think by the time you get to next holiday season, I think they're talking about re-promoting it and like getting a new, unique, big piece of software out. I don't think you're wanting to do all that at the same time. But of course, we've seen console launches. That's usually how it goes with an Xbox or a PlayStation.
Yes.
You get that console out in November, and you get a large launch library, and like that's just what it is.
Of course.
And so anything's on the table. As far as when we hear about it, I'm gonna say I wouldn't be surprised with January.
Oh wow, that quick of a turnaround. That's like post-holiday. People are still unwrapping their gifts, still jumping into the games mom and dad just bought them. You're gonna smack them in the mouth that fast?
I think so. January, February. I'm not mad at January, February, because I think we look at those months as like the chill months.
Yes.
Right? Like if you're gonna announce something, I think that's the time to do it. And when you look at the slate of games Nintendo has, the first few months have, I believe, Donkey Kong Country Returns is January, Xenoblade Chronicles X is like March, and I believe they have a February game that might also be a remaster. Chat, let me know. You got to have more to talk about.
Okay.
I think at that point that is prime let's promote shit season. Let's talk about like our big upcoming games. Let's remind people that Metroid Prime is coming through.
Of course.
Let's talk about like if you got a Mario, let's announce Mario sometime during January, February. If you have a Zelda Ocarina remake or something, let's announce it during that time. Like I think you got to go hard.
Yeah, I love what you're bringing up with the release possibly in June, where you can get out there with one big title and then out in December or, that fall window, hit them with a second big release window. That feels great. That feels right. So it will be really exciting. It is a little bit of a letdown to know that we won't get the announcement this year. I thought for sure we were going to get that between now and, Game Awards, we'd knock this out. But it is right business-wise of, hey, get the sales that remain for the Switch 1, then let's move into Switch 2 territory. That February, March window is where I'm thinking January would be fun, Bless, but I do like launching the console in summer would be great because then you get two big sales opportunities. I love that.
And when was the last summer console release we got? There's another one for chat to answer if you guys remember, right? Like, because historically for the Switch 1, it was March
3rd.
For the last few big PlayStation, Xbox consoles, it's been fall. It's been November.
Yeah, you've had some of the one-offs. Like the Xbox SAT edition, all digital edition, has come out in like May and stuff like that. So you've had the weird one-offs, but nothing like the big Xbox or PlayStation ones. I can't remember coming out into June or that first half.
It's definitely rare, but I would like to see it explored. I think there might be something there if you can come out in June and maybe alongside that E3 season, have press and even though E3 is not a thing, right? But Summer Game Fest season, I guess, have press ready to come through, play games, demo games, review shit, and have that be you are the talk of the town. You are dominating that announcement season. You're dominating
you dominate the whole second half of the year.
Yeah,
if you came
and then
out
the
in
second
June,
half of the year,
it would be June till January. It would be all you, is right.
Yeah,
it'd be wild.
Do you think it's still possible that it's announced by the end of this year? I know the analyst is saying otherwise, but I don't know.
See,
I got copium. I feel it in my bones.
Here's my thing: is I think if it was going to be announced this year, I think maybe the last week would have been the last week to do so. Because I don't think you're going to come out and talk about it this week because it's election, and at least America, but I would even feel like some of the world's attention is shifted and focusing on Trump versus Kamala right now, right? And then after this, you are already in Black Friday season, you're getting into it. So I feel like it's too close.
Yeah, I mean, my only theory would be they just drop the price of the main Switch and they say that all the games that you buy are backwards compatible to get that boost. But I don't. Yeah, the more I talk through it, I'm like, this is
maybe
not gonna happen.
Maybe, and this I was gonna say maybe December. But that becomes a whole thing, right?
I think to Mike's point, right? You don't want to have parents buy these Switch consoles, then immediately be like, "Fuck! Why the fuck did I buy this? I should just save."
Should I be returning this? Should I be holding off? I don't want my kid also, like Roger says, to come to me and go, "No, I don't want anything. Wait until the Switch 2, right? Because then now I gotta wait. I gotta save money until June, and
unless you do
throw
pre-orders,
everything off.
unless you do pre-orders now, and you're like, "Hey, everyone can pre-order it," but that's also
The
you don't
kids want something right then.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want a kid to have a pre-order underneath the Christmas tree. That sucks. Unless you give them, I don't know, a Nintendo card. It's a Nintendo box.
Yeah.
It's like a wooden block that says "Switch 2 soon."
Switch 2 ? Yeah, maybe here's my thing, right? Because Game Awards is that time.
I was like, could he be at? Would they be at Jeff's show?
I don't think you get to the whole Christmas point. I don't think you get a full reveal whatsoever at Jeff's show. Maybe a tease, maybe a Nintendo next console coming kind of thing. I don't know what the Nintendo tone is you put on that, but I think you point to full reveal coming in January.
Yeah.
Or full reveal coming February would be too long, but full reveal coming in January. I could see.
Yeah.
At Jeff's show.
It's still
then you're
still
getting too
rocks the
messy.
world between the holidays. Is right. That's the problem. Is right. Because no matter what, the Switch, the follow up to the Switch is going to shake the world, the gaming wise, and the general audience. Everyone is going to want to know about the Switch 2, when they can buy it, and should they be holding off on buying a Switch, any of these Switch games, until they fully know it's backwards compatible and we're ready to go. The moment you announce it, then there becomes a bunch of questions, and you don't want to impact the business at all during the holiday season.
100%. Let's move on to story number 2. Star Wars Outlaws new creative director promises big changes after disappointing sales. This is Ryan Dinsdale at IGN. And I want to throw out a super chat question for this one.
Oh, okay.
What do you want out of Star Wars Outlaws? Does a big update for Star Wars Outlaws do much for you to come back to the game? Let me know, because I'm not a Star Wars Outlaws person, and I want to hear what people have to say if you're somebody who does care about this, right? Getting into the story. Ubisoft has released its first developer update for Star Wars Outlaws, with new creative director Drew Reckner promising big changes after the open world adventure debuted to disappointing sales. Reckner said in the update that Ubisoft had been, quote, gathering and actioning players' feedback, end quote, since launch and has identified key areas where it can elevate the game experience to better meet player expectations. Sentiments such as these are often seen in the wake of disastrous game launches, but Star Wars Outlaws debuted to positive reviews. Poor sales shook a struggling Ubisoft, however, and it is now working to improve the game ahead of what it hopes will be a sales bump alongside its Steam launch and the holiday period. This will result in Star Wars Outlaws getting revamped combat, stealth, and controls. Quote, the first key area of improvement to the game is combat, where we see a real opportunity to add more depth and excitement to the experience, further rewarding your tactics and precision, Reckner said. Our second key area is stealth, which is not only about improving the readability and consistency of enemy detection, but also providing choice in how you want to approach each encounter. Finally, our third key area of focus is centered around the character controls, which means improving the reliability of cover, increasing the responsiveness of climbing and crouching, and generally improving the consistency of the controls overall, end quote. These changes will be made when Update 1.4 arrives on November 21st, the same day Star Wars Outlaws launches on Steam. Players can expect more information on the changes in the coming weeks. Mike, I forget, where were you at with Star Wars Outlaws? Did you play
I
that
played
one?
about 8 hours. I actually surprisingly enjoyed my time with that.
Yeah.
I didn't like Sabak. I liked Sabak, but I didn't like how quiet the Sabak tables were. That was my big critique to
You
bear.
needed
was
like the casino, like bells and whistles going on in
it's
the
just
background.
odd that, no, it was odd that like everybody at the table didn't talk. It was just like weird, like soft sounds. And it's like, okay, well, like give me some. If I'm going to spend 5 minutes playing Sabak, like give me some lore, give me some fun at the table. That's why you go to a blackjack table in Vegas, is the characters you're going to meet. You know what I mean? So like hit me with that. But yeah, I had a surprisingly good time with this. I mean, this seems like a lot of changes, and I would love to see that comparison, because for me, it's like I was having a good time. This is a lot of changes coming.
Does this
to this
surprise
place.
you? Because I'm
very surprised.
From the outside looking in, it surprises me because the
Yes.
article mentions itself. Like Star Wars Outlaws was received good. Like
Yeah.
it's not like I know a lot of people like who weren't feeling it, right? Like us at Kind of Funny. I know Greg and Barrett like didn't give it a good review, right? Like they didn't enjoy it. But from what I see, plenty of people do, and like overall, like Metacritic seems good. Like the reviews seem good. It's just the sales that seemingly aren't
we
hitting.
know where the sales are at.
Yeah.
Stop putting your game over on exclusively the Ubisoft launcher. Come to Steam.
Mhm.
Why are we doing this a second time this year of, Prince of Persia could have sold better. Let's finally release it on Steam 2 months too late. Oh, snap. Star Wars Outlaws probably could have sold better. We should have put it on Steam, the largest PC ecosystem in the world.
Yeah.
Put your games, if they're good, everywhere so people can buy them. Stop hiding them on the wrong launcher. What are we doing?
And that's the thing that surprises me here is that right now their response is to go, all right, let's revamp shit. Like, let's go in, let's update it, let's fix things, let's make it better and whatever, which is cool, which is awesome, right? Like, I love when a game comes out and they're like, hey, we got a vision that we can see, that we can that we can see through and have it be better. Let's go in, fix shit. Like, yeah, do all that stuff. I'm just surprised that this almost feels reactionary to, the game wasn't good enough. Let's go in, let's do all this shit. And I'm like, I don't know if your problem wasn't that you're not good enough. I think the problem maybe was the release. Maybe it was that like the word of mouth wasn't strong enough for this game. Maybe it is that maybe this is a game that not as many people were asking for as we thought they were, right? And I think maybe inherently part of it is that it is, I think, at its core, Ubisoft style open world game, which we've gotten a lot of. There have been so many Far Cries, there have been so many Assassin's Creeds, there was Immortal Phoenix Rising, right? Like, people have played this style of game a lot. And I think, like, the people that are going to show up for a Star Wars version of that, like, they are who they are. That doesn't strike me as something that's going to take over the world and get 10 million sales or whatever it is.
I am impressed. I think there's only been a handful of games we could ever probably look back to and go, man, they're making all these changes and improvements just not that long after the launch window to try to bring people back, right? That's very interesting to me. I didn't know it needed all of this. I didn't know there was a giant laundry list of, here's the to-dos. Let's try to make this game better for Steam launch. That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. I'm a little shocked, to be honest with you, but I'm not shocked in the poor sales when you're not on Steam.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I understand the console market, Ubisoft launcher, but like you got to be on Steam on PC.
We do have a couple of super chats answering the super chat question here. Elliot Duke writes in and says, I like Outlaws, but I hate what Ubisoft is doing with studios at the moment, like what they did to the Prince team. I hope the DLC is better than the base, though. And then Daniel Alonso writes in and says, the problem was releasing the game day and date on Ubisoft Plus. More people churned to the service instead of buying the game. But I'm glad they're committing to change.
Oh, snap. Okay, so now you have a Game Pass situation where if you're putting it on your subscription service, sales are going to go down. Did you account for that? Were you prepared for people just to jump into your subscription service, buy it for a month or two, and then dip out and not buy the game?
Yeah.
You know?
This is one of those ones where I wish I could be on a fly on the wall at Ubisoft for the conversations around it, because I think leading into it, I guess I was a bit more on the side of this needs to be a hit for Ubisoft. Like, they're looking at this to be a gigantic hit.
You got Massive on it.
You got Massive on it.
It's a big deal.
It's a big IP, right? Like, you're positioning it like as a, I know it didn't come out in fall technically, but it came out in August, which is fall adjacent. I don't want to have this argument again. But like, you're putting it out, I think, at a prime spot for it, right? And like, it feels like it got somewhat of an equivalent marketing push as like the next Assassin's Creed, right? They want this to be a big thing, especially because it's Star Wars.
Oh, you get the Star Wars license? Yeah, this is the big deal, bless.
And it doesn't, but post this game coming out, it doesn't feel like that, does it?
No, not at all. This one feels like it came and went, bless. But also, it's a single-player Star Wars game, right? Like, I think of the Respawn games, which are beloved, but like, those come and go. People talk about them and they love them, and we kind of remember them come award seasons, but like, those come and go. Most of these single-player games come and go, though.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm very fascinated with, like, again, when you add these updates, is that going to bring people back in? Is this like a futile, like, we're just doing this just to do it because we got to do something to try and hope to bump up those sales?
Should they have just built off of with the Division? Or is that Star Wars IP so big that you have, no matter what, you had to do it?
I think...
Because, like, I think the Division would have gotten more love if we were talking about the Division right now.
I think the Star Wars IP is so big that you have to do it.
Yeah.
I just don't know if this game had the stuff as far as like what it needed to be. Like, we've gotten a lot of Star Wars games now, I think is the thing now, right? Jedi, the 2 Jedi games we've gotten, I think are way more high profile and like way more exciting than what Star Wars Outlaws is, right? Like, you're getting to play as a Jedi, you're getting to like have this cool adventure that is linear, actiony, has almost Soulsy type of combat, right? Like, that's really appealing to people. We've had the Battlefronts. We've had a lot of Star Wars.
We had
games.
that pilot game where we were dogfighting in the sky. That was a lot of fun.
Yep, we had that. And yeah, I don't know if an Outlaws coming out is something that's moving the needle as much as it would maybe if it came out like 5 years ago.
It's still so strong, though. Anytime a Star Wars game comes on your screen, trailer-wise, we're all going to get excited. Everybody's going to want to talk about it. It's just so strong no matter what. Even if we feel like we're burnt out on it, there's been so many. No matter what, every time you come out, people are going to flock to it. It's just a beloved IP.
Do you feel the same way about Assassin's Creed?
Yeah, bless, I do. And this one's a very interesting story because we're going to talk about being outside of the game. And it's like, that's always been like the weirdest, jankiest moments to me. And I'm so excited to talk about this story with you because it's an odd one.
Story number 3, Assassin's Creed Shadows will begin a new modern day story after the series Post-Desmond Blues. This is Ryan Dinsdale at IGN. Assassin's Creed Shadows will lay the foundation for a new modern-day story after years of Ubisoft struggling to match the interest in Desmond's storyline from the original Assassin's Creed games. Mark Alexis Cote, Ubisoft's vice president executive producer of Assassin's Creed, said at a BAFTA event attended by Eurogamer that Ubisoft has struggled to find its footing with the modern-day aspect of Assassin's Creed in recent years. Quote, Desmond's journey was at the heart of the modern-day conflict, driving the search for powerful Isu artifacts. Pieces of Eden that could change the course of history, Cote said. However, with his death at the end, spoilers, motherfucker. With his death at the end, spoilers for Assassin's Creed 3, I guess. With his death at the end of Assassin's Creed 3, we faced a creative crossroads. Ending Desmond's arc was a difficult decision, and afterward, the modern storyline struggled to find its footing, end quote. Assassin's Creed 3 arrived in 2012. However, Sokote had admitted the franchise has struggled to find a strong modern-day story in more than a decade. This has certainly been a point of frustration for fans over the years, some of whom have complained the modern-day storyline has no real direction and only detracts from the main game. Assassin's Creed Shadows looks to return some direction to the franchise, though. Quote, as we move forward, our goal is to put history back at the center of the player's experience, Cote said. The modern-day narrative will serve to enhance rather than overshadow the historical journey, end quote. So, Mike, what's your Assassin's Creed story? Were you somebody that was in? You played a lot.
A lot, yeah.
How much do you care about the modern story?
Never have cared about it at all. Anytime we're out of the Animus, right? Is that what they call that thing? Anytime you're out of that, you've lost me, and I don't care, right? It's never been exciting. It's never been thrilling, anything. I think you get so lost because you only get it for so little time that when I'm spending 40 hours in the actual game, when you give me an hour to 5 hours overarching of that, I forget about it. And I've never enjoyed that. What about you?
I'm not an Assassin's Creed person. Like, I played through all of Assassin's Creed 1. I played through like a bunch of hours of 2, and then just partway through it, I was like, this isn't for me. I'm just gonna put it down, right? Like, no hate to it, but it just didn't click. But when I think of Assassin's Creed, especially like this era of Assassin's Creed, 1, 2, 3, Brotherhood, Revolution, all that stuff, or Revelations, I think of my friend James Koltoff from back in the day.
Okay.
And like James and Stevie, they were very into Assassin's Creed, and I would overhear them talk about the modern day storyline and being into it.
Wow.
Like, they were passionately into it to the point where it's, oh, we can't wait for the next one to see where this is, this goes. Like, they were into it.
That's got to be such a small percentage of people ever talking about that.
You think so?
And you got to hear it.
Because
I have never once outside of these walls in the gaming world, Steve back at work never once talked about outside of the main Assassin's Creed stuff.
See, that's the stuff
crazy.
That's the stuff that had me like, man, maybe I got to push through just to see what this modern day story is, because they made it sound like the coolest thing ever. And then at some point, I just stopped hearing people talk about it. I was just like, oh, and maybe it was because it was post Assassin's Creed 3, right? But like, I felt like the discourse around the modern day stuff, people just stopped caring, and it felt like they just stopped putting in as much effort into it.
It feels like a post-Westworld world that we live in right now. You could tell a really cool story outside of what we're getting, but they never captured that for me.
I just wanted to give you both a heads up, all right? Nick's over there, 4:05, in front of the printer, asking why there's so much Sharpie on it. So it's one of those days. Be careful out there.
Oh, shit.
Wait, asking why there's so much Sharpie on it? What's he talking about?
I don't know. That wasn't me, though. That wasn't me, ladies and gentlemen. That definitely wasn't me.
Sharpie all over?
Like just the markers?
Like, did somebody draw on the printer? Like, what happened?
Yeah, I think that's the
Or is he
vibe.
just asking why there's so many Sharpie
I'm worried
markers?
because just so everybody knows, I signed like 270 Snowbike Mike DVDs with Sharpie, but I didn't put them back there, so I just need everybody to know it was not.
That's the wheeze laugh of a guilty man.
You know what I mean? Like, Greg was the last one to sign things in this office with a Sharpie, so we're all gonna look at Greg. You know what I mean?
That is true.
Mike was a month ago.
Shit,
Back to our Assassin's Creed.
I'm going home after this in GameScast.
I'm immediately
to stream,
leaving.
so.
Right. I'm putting my head down and I'm
outta here.
walking out of this office as fast as possible.
I'm fucking out of here.
I'm not dapping him up. I'm not saying
I don't
hi
want
to
to
him.
deal with it.
I'm running.
I'm not making eye contact with Nick. I'm just fucking out that door. I'm not leaving this room after
You know,
KFGD.
the printer sits in the corner of the office. Nobody ever looks at it. It's got a little Sharpie on it. No big deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No big deal. That's what I would
It's
say.
funny. Post KFGD, usually I go out there. I'll like, I'll refill my water. I'll stretch a little bit. I'm not leaving this room.
Draw on the Sharpie a little bit.
Yeah.
Draw on the
No,
printer a little bit.
I don't do that. Yo, Nick, if you're watching, I don't do that.
There's a box next to the
I don't do
next
that.
to the printer with all the
God.
Sharpies. It's like the Snickers bar, Roger, that tasted like fruit. Remember? It's because it's a box next to it. They're kind of touching each other.
Yeah,
That's gotta,
the
that's
ink
gotta
bleeds.
be.
The ink bleeds.
So are we blaming Greg? Is Greg the one that's getting the
we all
blame
have
for
to
this?
agree to blame.
Are we all on
Yeah.
the same page?
Yeah, we're all on the same
With
page.
the three of us on the
That's a
same
bold
page.
move. We're gonna blame our
We have
CEO.
to. We have to.
I've never used that printer in years, bro. Or a Sharpie. I don't even know what's a Sharpie. What's that fucking Snicker? What is that?
Let's go back to the story here. So to go back to it, yeah, Bless, this is a story that never captured me. There's so much going on in Assassin's Creed that when you go to the modern day outside of what you're playing, it always feels janky. It never feels right. It slows down the game. I've never experienced a story or gameplay where I go, yes, give me more of that. Never once in my Assassin's Creed journey. Now, like I said, I think it is interesting that the team is mindful of that. Of course they are, because they've been putting it in their story, but it is cool of like, hey, how do we give this a boost? How do we restart this maybe and make it more enjoyable? And as I brought up before, right, we're living in a post-Westworld universe where Westworld was pretty freaky deaky, right? With the idea of being outside and then being inside. And like similar to Assassin's Creed, could you do something like that? I would like them to see them explore something like that.
I wonder if this is part, and this is going to sound like a joke because we joke about this, we've been joking about this forever. But I wonder if this is a part of Assassin's Creed Unlimited universe. What did I forget what it's already called?
Yes.
Assassin's Creed Unlimited.
Infinity, I think.
Infinity,
Yes.
thank you. I was like, it's not
Infinity.
Unlimited. It's not universe. Assassin's Creed Connected. I wonder if this is part of Infinity, where Infinity is supposed to come out alongside Assassin's Creed Shadows, right? Shadows supposed to be in the introduction of what Infinity is. I wonder if Infinity is them going, this is how we're going to take the modern storyline into the future. This is how we're going to take it
Yeah.
into the modern day, right?
Now-
This is how we're going to modernize it.
Now, it's not really a storyline, but how I would like to see this play out is Infinity, the hub, is at an actual museum. And so you can create your character, or you're just a character, and you walk into the museum and you can go to different areas of the museum, and they'll have the different games that you can then jump into the Animus and play those games. And then you can snap out of it when you exit game, and you go back to the hub, and then you go back into the museum, walk around the halls, go to a different exhibit, and then jump into that one. That could be Odyssey, then you jump over, and it could be Origins. The next one could be Valhalla. I would love to see that. Also,
They're
that's like
doing
a 7,000 megabyte or gigabyte game.
I'm like, you're describing like, the biggest game file of all time.
But it would be sick. That would be a cool kind of vibe.
It'd be cool until I'm like, I just want to play Odyssey. I don't want to fucking go into a museum and find the room that Odyssey. Let me just boot up fucking Assassin's Creed Hexy or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
Call of Duty has made me wonder so much about like what's going on in video games.
No, they're smart.
Because
they
why
take
is there
up your
one
whole-
launcher?
Yeah.
And like, why do I have to go into this launcher and then it's like, oh, you got an update, exit to restart. And I'm
Okay,
like,
well, we haven't figured
motherfucker.
that problem out.
And why is it like 100 something? Why is it 200 gigabytes? This thing?
Because they don't want you to have any other games on your hard drive. They're smart, okay? They take up your whole
The Call
hard
of
drive.
Duty launcher-
You can't ever get out of it.
The Call of Duty launcher has made me look at Assassin's Creed Infinity and go, man, I hope they abandon ship so hard because I don't want this.
One day we'll live in a world where cloud gaming is so strong, you won't be downloading Assassin's Creed Infinity and have it 700 gigs. You'll just be able to jump in and stream from the cloud. It's so perfect.
We're never going to live in that
downloads.
world. The
I
internet's
know.
not.
You never know.
that's never
Let me
gonna be
break
that
it to you,
good.
Blessing.
What's
The
up?
Call of Duty launcher is the best it's ever been.
It is the best it's ever been.
You can just
Stop lying
download.
to me.
No, you can just download Black Ops 6. You don't have to worry about anything. It's kind of good right now, but I mean that's not
But
saying
like,
much.
okay, how many clicks until I can get into a match?
Don't worry about
How many
that.
clicks?
2, 3.
Oh, get the fuck out of here!
Night,
No.
after
Probably
last night,
3.
I was playing with my brother, and then just the game like turned off, and then we had to update it, both of us. we had to turn off
Exactly.
the game and then turn it back on. And say, your
it's
update's in there.
been
Don't
there.
worry about it.
One click to start the game. One click to restart the game because it tells you.
That's true. That's true. That's true. You got
Another
me.
click to get to Black Ops 6. Then you click into Black Ops 6, and then you choose multiplayer, and then finally you can find the lobby you want to
Yeah.
get into and actually play the game. It's just too much. Let me just play the game.
Whatever they do, don't impact the game by trying to tell the modern story. You have a really interesting situation here where they're going to try to reboot this, restart this, give excitement to it. But I don't want to continuously be pulled in and out of the situation, right? If I'm in Shadows and I'm running around Japan and I'm killing people, I don't want to just the next mission be sucked out of it, go over here, and we do the back and forth all game. That's a tough part about this.
What if the story's really cool though?
You got to nail
What
that
if
story.
What if it's a really cool?
Yeah, but
'cause
like,
I think
no,
a lot
it
of
will
people
never
felt
be
that way.
cool enough. That's the issue. It will never be cool.
But I think a
enough.
lot of people were already. I think a lot of people were like, "Yo, this shit is cool." Like
le-
Assassin's Creed 1 through 3.
Langley M. Neely brought up a great point, which I think is solid. And I remember when they initially announced Watch Dogs, people were like, is this part of the Assassin's Creed universe? Like, is that something they can do where they actually give it gameplay and make it essentially Watch Dogs in modern day, but then plus you're going back in time, like kind of crossing those two bridges? I don't know.
The chat is saying, Mike, you're in the minority. People want the modern story.
That's where
and I'm truly stunned
From
by
what
that.
I've seen,
I'm stunned.
And again, this is purely anecdotal for me and
Yeah.
from my friends being really into Assassin's Creed. I think people really fuck with that modern story, at least back in the day.
Put it on the poll, Roger.
Put in the
Put a poll out there, Roger, on the Twitterverse. Do you buy in and want the modern story in Assassin's
Yeah,
Creed? Do
put it
you
in the poll
vibe
because I
with
want to
it?
know what people think.
That's crazy. I'm putting up a poll in Twitch chat.
Because I think if you restore that
I'm on it,
feeling,
Mike.
you at least got James back. I think James is.
Who the hell is James?
My guy James Koltoff. That's the guy who told me about how much he loved the Assassin's
Oh,
Creed
okay. I
story.
thought you were talking
From
about
my
like he
childhood.
was a character in Assassin's
No,
Creed.
no, no.
I'm like, who the hell's James?
James is my guy. James was so hardcore. He this is like during the PS3 era.
Okay.
He platinumed any game that he had a platinum. And so you would look at his trophy list, every single thing had a platinum. There was one time I was over at his place and I was like, oh y'all, we gotta play Mortal Kombat, like the new Mortal Kombat game. This is when they did the reboot. I put it in his console and like when I first booted up the game, I think a guy just automatically got a bronze trophy or whatever. And then Stevie and James looked at me and they were like, hey, you have to give James Mortal Kombat. Like James has to platinum Mortal Kombat now. Like you fucked up. And I was like, all right, cool, you can borrow it. Like go ahead. That's how hardcore James was.
Okay.
Respect to James.
Okay. Well, we're gonna put a poll up, and when we come back, we'll talk about that poll really quick.
I do want to bring in one super chat
Yeah.
from Marquise Johnson, who writes in and says, I think we're seeing IP is just attached to bad games. IP is just attached to bad games, fail, suicide. This is how he wrote it.
Okay, yeah. I've been there before.
Yeah. IP is just attached to bad games, fail, Suicide Squad, Outlaws, Avatar. The games had to be good as well.
That's true. I mean, if you get the IP, you got to make a good game. You're blessed with the IP. It will carry you so far, but at the same time, you still got to make a good game.
And then one more from Mara, who writes in and says, Ubi had a missed opportunity by never doing an Assassin's Creed / Watch Dogs crossover, allowing you to hack the Animus in modern times for advantages in the past.
Interesting. That's fun.
I think that sounds really cool.
Yeah.
It sounds fascinating.
I didn't really
But
love the Watch Dogs universe, so I didn't need a crossover there.
Yeah.
After that first Watch Dogs one, I was like, I don't want any more.
And we're definitely
I'm
at this
good.
point, we're way past the time they can
Oh,
do
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Can you
They're
imagine
making a
going
movie.
back now?
They're making a movie.
You ain't going back.
Which one, Watch Dogs or Assassin's Creed?
Watch Dogs. And they're making an Assassin's Creed show too.
It's still way too late. That's like if Sony was like, "Oh, we're finally doing the Men in Black 22 Jump Street crossover."
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
like no.
I
That would
wish
be
about-
cool,
I wish
though.
for it every day.
That would have been cool.
I wish for it every day.
That would have been cool back in 2014, not in 2024.
Yeah.
But you know what is cool in 2024? Patreon.com/kindafunny and YouTube.com/kindafunnygames and getting the Kinda Funny membership, which allows you to get shows ad-free. Speaking of ads, let us tell you about our sponsors.
This episode's brought to you by Phasmophobia. The genre-defining horror game is finally out now on consoles. Yes, that's right. The phenomenon that is Phasmophobia has finally entered console early access on PS5, PSVR 2, and Xbox Series X and S, with full cross-play support across all platforms from day one. Join the already almost 20 million players on Steam, including our very own Snowbike Mike, and get ready for some spine-chilling ghost hunting with up to 3 friends. Experience the horror as you investigate immersive haunted locations and gather evidence to help you succeed. With several different ghost types and unique traits, no ghost hunt is ever the same. Making sure you work as a team and utilize your equipment is the key to making it out alive. It's time, Ghost Hunters. Phasmophobia is out now on PS5, PSVR 2, and Xbox Series X and S. Gather your friends and prepare for the terrifying ghost hunts that await. This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. I want to take a moment and say thank you to Barrett. Barrett always goes above and beyond to keep all of our shenanigans going. This month is all about gratitude, and in addition to Barrett, there's another person we don't get to thank enough. Ourselves. It's sometimes hard to remind ourselves that we're trying our best to make sense of everything, and in this crazy world that isn't easy. Therapy helps you find your strengths so you can ditch the extreme resolutions and make changes that really stick. You can get out of your negative thought cycles and find some mental and emotional peace, and it can give you the tools to find more balance in your life. Some of my best friends use BetterHelp and love how helpful it can be for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself, and it isn't just for those who've experienced major trauma. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Let gratitude flow with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/kindafunny today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/kindafunny.
And we're back. Mike, what's that poll looking like?
Bless. The poll is split right down the middle, actually.
Really?
Both polls very, very close here. I got a 61-39% on Twitch, so there is more on Twitch saying yes, but over on YouTube, it is 51 to 49% yes. So
Wow.
a little bit more swinging towards the yes, they want the modern stuff, but I mean, you could split this right down the middle. You ask
Yeah.
on the street, someone's going to say no, someone's going to say yes.
Hey, that's what
how
it
close
seems
this
like.
is. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's move on.
Interesting. I never would have thought that. Truly and honestly.
Really?
I didn't think people gave a shit about that.
I think it's because it's been so long.
Yeah.
I think back in what year did Assassin's Creed 3 even come out, man? That must have been like
So long ago.
2012. I'm gonna
Killed
guess.
it.
Did I get it? 2012. Yeah.
October 30th.
Here's the thing, right? Again, me and calendar dates. Come on, man. I'm
Come on.
different.
Come
All right,
on.
Roger, give me
He's
the name of a
different.
video game. I'll tell you what year it came out.
Donkey Kong 64.
Fuck. 19. I'm gonna say 1999.
Yeah.
Let's
November
fucking go.
22nd.
Great. That's great.
Let's
Splinter
fucking
Cell
go.
Pandora's
Great.
tomorrow.
That's great.
Splinter Cell Pandora tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh. 2000. I really don't know. 2005.
Okay.
4.
Damn it.
So close though.
So
True
close.
Crime, Streets of LA.
Streets of LA. Fuck, was that
Yeah.
before or
Shout out
after?
to True Crime.
That was after the New York one, I believe.
Yeah, I believe so.
No.
Oh, you think that was
it
the
was
first
before
one?
the New
It's
York
definitely
one?
the first one.
New York was second? Damn.
Oh man, that changes things.
Changes.
I mean, based
Changes
on the way
everything.
that game plays, I'm gonna say 2002.
2003. You're
Damn.
1 year off, bro.
Oh, he's
man.
close, bro. You got it, man. You got
Man,
it.
You're
we're
off,
getting there.
bro.
We're getting there. Speaking of 2003, I think story number 4, Halo 2.
Very close. 2004.
Damn it.
You were so close,
I have
bro.
a 1 year margin
Holy
of error,
cow.
guys. 1 year
Yeah.
margin of error. Halo 2's legendary E3 level will finally be playable after 21 years. This is Zach Wisen at Kotaku. Back in 2003, before Halo, damn, I should have just used that as a hint.
Yes.
Back in 2003, before Halo 2 launched, Bungie showcased a gameplay demo that featured Master Chief on Earth fighting aliens. This level, known online as Earth City, didn't ship with the retail game in 2004. As it was highly, damn, the answer was right there. As it was a highly scripted demo created for E3. But now, 20 years later, you'll soon be able to play this iconic piece of Halo history. In 2018, 343 Industries, now known as Halo Studios, streamed the Earth City demo, and fans started to wonder if it would ever be released as an official DLC or mod. At the time, the devs weren't sure if it was possible, but in 2022, it was announced that Earth City, the Earth City demo, and other cut or lost content would be playable via the Master Chief Collection on PC as part of a partnership between the fan modders and the developers. And now, in a few days, we'll get to play the Earth City E3 demo, thanks to the hard work of Halo fans and developers. On November 4th, Halo Studios and Xbox announced a series of updates coming to Halo the Master Chief Collection as part of Halo 2's 20th anniversary. The big news is that on November 9th, players on Steam will be able to finally play the highly anticipated Halo 2 Earth City demo. Quote, the response to the demo at E3 2003 was electric, and nearly every Halo fan remembers that demo and where they were when they were first blinded by its majesty, said Halo community director Brian Gerard. Damn, it was like that?
Hey, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Quote, best of all, none of us ever would have expected that 20 plus years later, a group of passionate community modders would bring this demo to life as a full-fledged mission, end quote. Mike, you're the Halo fan in my life.
Yeah, bless.
What does this do for you?
This is excitement, bless.
Yeah?
This is so cool to celebrate 20 years of Halo 2 and bring it back, not only with the E3 demo, but there's a lot more, which I'll share with you. Of course, we are getting Halo 2 maps in Halo Infinite via Forge.
Oh, that's
so you're
awesome.
going to get a lot of classic maps coming your way. And then, of course, Forza 5 is celebrating Halo and all things Halo with their event labs. So now you can put in cool Halo props into your event lab races, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
The Warthog was always awesome. And then, bless, on top of that, the big news coming out of this weekend in Vegas, they're having an old school Halo 2 tournament.
Oh, that's awesome.
Right. Level 50 Las Vegas Halo opening is happening this weekend with all of your, it's open to anyone, but all of your favorite old school Halo 2 pros have been training and coming back for this. So my main man Walshy and his squad, they'll be playing. I cannot wait to watch that.
Roger, when did Mike pull out a physical notebook? Did you see?
Yeah, that's.
I looked down, I looked up, and he had notes in
Yep.
physical written notes.
Yeah,
Yep.
the camera didn't even pick it up. Kind of,
Come
it just
on.
kind of like appeared. It was like an anime moment.
Final Boss and Instinct will come together for Final Instinct, the squad, with my man Walshy, Strong Side, Lunchbox, and Roy. I'm so pumped to watch this, bless.
Yeah.
Old school Halo 2. You're lucky I'm not going down there to get on the sticks because I'm a menace in this game.
Oh, yeah?
I'm a freak.
Oh, shit. All
There's
right.
a lot of people talking smack in our YouTube comments sometimes. And I wrote this one kid, I was like, 1v1 me on lockouts. And he goes, I don't even think you know what that is. And I was worried. I was like, sounds like you don't know what it is, my man.
Oh, my
Okay?
goodness.
And that's a problem out there. If you want to catch me in these streets, Halo Infinite this weekend,
You excited-
celebrating 20th anniversary.
You excited about Earth City?
Oh my God. Yeah, the demo, that's crazy, bless.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I remember watching that demo and then, never being able to play it, going, what was that? That's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, I think it will be a fun one-time, cool little Twitch stream. But what gets me excited is the Halo 2 maps in Forge. I'm not a big fan of Forge. I've never loved Forge. But, I mean, you bring Ascension, Lockout, Warlock, Midship, Sanctuary, and Beaver Creek back.
Gotta love
Watch out,
Beaver Creek.
Bless. Watch out, Bless.
Watch out. That's very exciting. I'm happy for you.
It's going to be a good time. Yeah, I'm really excited. Does this get you excited at all, Bless?
No, I mean, I love stuff like this. Though,
Okay.
right? Like I think back to the amount of demos that back in the day, like during what PS2, PS1, early video game eras. Right? I made a lot of people feel old just then, but like pre PS3 era, I think the demos were different, right? When you think about demo discs, when you think about like, I think the mythical aspect of E3 demos, right, and game showcases, how that stuff didn't feel as accessible as they are nowadays. It felt like you were part of a select few people on the internet that got to see that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So to see that stuff come to life fully and have devs be like, no, we're giving you the ability to actually play this thing that, you know, that never existed in the games, right? That was only a thing that you knew about if you're in the know. I think that stuff is fucking awesome.
That's kinda cool.
Right? It makes me think about like the original Mario 64 renders and how there are groups of people that work on emulation, right? That like are trying to create versions of Mario 64 that have the original renders from like the magazines and shit, and like recreate that art style. It's like, man, that shit, like, it makes me happy that people are doing that
preserving the
work.
past, saving the past. Right?
So that means something. And I'm happy that like Halo has that happening with it.
No doubt, Bless. I mean, 20 years ago, it was a big deal. I've told the story many of times, going over to AJ Tessarero's house and playing with AJ and all of our friends. And AJ had an older brother, Phil, who was just 2 years older than us. So it would always be Phil and his buddies versus us in AJ's room. And Gina was so kind. She got me my first ever Xbox Live account. Put it on her credit card. That's where Hawk 22 became. And then I went to Sick Nasty afterwards. But like, if it wasn't for Gina and AJ and Phil, I might not be a big Xbox player. But we played Halo 2 every single day after school. We would come in there and it'd be 2 rooms full of boys just screaming at each other. And at moments, it was so much fun. Loved every single minute.
Story number 5. Speaking of Xbox, you can now try out Microsoft's new AI-powered Xbox chatbot. This is Tom Warren at The Verge. Microsoft has been testing a new AI-powered Xbox chatbot, and now Xbox insiders can try it out for the first time. I exclusively revealed the existence of this new Xbox support virtual agent earlier this year, and Microsoft now says it's designed to, quote, help Xbox players more efficiently solve their support-related gaming issues, end quote. Xbox insiders in the US can start trying out this new Xbox AI chatbot at support.xbox.com, and it'll answer questions around Xbox console and game support issues. I don't need to read the rest of the article. We get what this is, but
nothing gets me more frustrated than talking to a bot and just not getting through and them comprehending it. So very excited to see me break trying to talk through my issues with this AI bot.
Recently, I was ordering a DVD of Challengers. Oh, for Kojima.
Okay.
I was like, why was I ordering? I was ordering a Blu-ray of Challengers for Kojima off of Amazon, right? And they had shipped it to the wrong address, like still in my apartment complex, but they just dropped it at the wrong apartment. And so I went on the thing, and I'm like, I didn't feel like going to that person's door and knocking on the door and being like, hey, you have my Challengers Blu-ray. And so instead, I went to Amazon. I went on the thing on the chatbot, and I was like, hey, you delivered to the wrong address. Like, can I get a resend of this thing or whatever? And like, it was clearly an AI thing, because it was then like, you know, it then started asking me questions of like, oh, can you get it? And I was like, no. Do you want a replacement or a refund? I want a replacement. Went through these questions, and then like, it was like, we cannot issue a refund. And I was like, I asked for a replacement. We can't issue a refund. I asked for a replacement, and like, would not let me get what I wanted to get. And it went around like a few times until finally I got the replacement, and then it was like, send the version you have back. And I was like, motherfucker, no, I don't have the version. You gave it to the wrong neighbor. I can't stand AI like support bots. We're not at the place yet where like they're working flawlessly. And so this is going to frustrate a lot of people, but hey, it's part of the game. AI's and everything.
It will be very interesting to see how this goes, right? Because when you are going to support, that's when you're usually at your most frustrated. Something has broken, something has gone wrong, and you need help. You need to go to an expert for help. And it is always frustrating when you get hit with a wall of, hey, hold on this line for far too long. Or, hey, I have to go get my manager, or I can't help you with that. Or, hey, I'm talking to an AI bot or a chat bot, and it's just not hitting the walls that I need to. So in hopes, your AI bot would really be able to solve this, and hopefully it's smart, and it evolves and becomes what we want it to be in the future of being solid. But at the same time, we all have these experiences where it's like, it's just not there yet, and it's frustrating.
Story number 6, BioWare suggests Mass Effect fans to temper expectations for N7 Day. This is Tom Ivan at Video Games Chronicle. BioWare has cautioned fans not to get too excited about its plans for N7 Day on November 7th. The studio established N7 Day in 2012, and it has since become a yearly celebration of the Mass Effect series and its community. In 2020, BioWare used N7 Day to announce it was working on a new Mass Effect game, as well as Mass Effect Legendary Edition. In the years since, it has used N7 Day to reveal new concept art, provide some development updates, and release a new teaser trailer. Quote, "We hope everyone is enjoying their time in Dragon Age the Veilguard," the studio said on X this week. It's only a few days until #N7 Day, and this year will be quieter because of launch. Be sure to check back then for a little fun, though. End quote. So cool. The big quieter one.
I mean, this is probably one of the tougher ones for businesses like this of like every year now you've made something, you got to kind of do something. And so, yeah, it's like clearly, hey, we're working on the game.
Yeah.
We're not quite ready. Probably maybe a small merch drop with some new T-shirts, I bet. Maybe some cool concept photos. Who knows what they're going to do? It will be light, though.
That's the thing is I feel for companies or like game studios that have a day, like an outbreak day.
Yes, when you put yourself up against the wall now where you made it a thing. Yeah.
Every year people think that we're going to announce the next iteration or have a brand new trailer or whatever. And it's like, we got some stickers and that's it. All right? Here are some stickers. We're fucking busy. Leave us alone.
Yeah.
But, it was really cool. I think it was last year that we got that teaser trailer. And so really awesome that every now and then they can do something like that. But definitely take a break. You just released a game.
Great way for community engagement. Every year, everybody gets to rally around something they love, share photos, go on X or Twitter and share the things they love with the developers. We talked about it yesterday, right? Of like, outweighing the bad, letting the positive shine. Tomorrow and 7 Day will be that for people to go out there and say, hey, I love what you created. I love these games. Let's have a good day today.
Yep. So Mike, no big news for N7 Day. But if I wanted something smaller, say the tiniest news I need to know about, where would I go?
Bless. You'd go to our last news story, the We News channel, where we cover all the small news items you need to know about.
Story number 7.
You hear that?
It's We News.
Turn it up.
Turn that shit up, Roger.
Roger, run it back again. He didn't hear it.
I heard it.
No, he didn't hear it.
Let me.
It didn't punch, Roger.
Run that up.
Roger, punch it up. Punch it up. Give it 2 decibels up.
We're pulling a Funkmaster Flex right now. Run it back.
You ready?
Yeah.
Shout out, Roger. Who's the person that did this?
It's Carter Harrell, of course.
He's so talented.
Killing it.
Shout out Carter Harrell. Yes, we do have a new We News theme. And this shit is banging.
Yeah, this is to make sure that we don't get sued by Nintendo.
Yeah. Man, let me tell you. I've been listening to the Nintendo Music app. They've been slowly adding in new albums or new games.
Yeah.
I was listening to Sticker Brush Symphony from Donkey Kong Country 2 while prepping KFGD this morning. I almost teared up on my desk. I almost started crying to Sticker Brush Symphony.
It's like you see me dancing?
Oh, yeah. You're feeling the groove.
Lace up your dancing shoes.
Oh, man. Let's get into it.
Dancing.
Story number 7 is We News from VGC. Pokemon TCG Pocket has received its first post-launch battle event. The Lapras X Drop event consists of 4 solo battles against increasingly difficult opponent decks.
Yeah, we liked this. That was nice.
Yeah.
It's nice to more content. Keep it going. That's what this has to be.
Donkey Kong Country 2 Diddy's Conquest OST has been added to Nintendo Music, like I just mentioned. And man, one of the greatest soundtracks ever made.
I'd like to play this game. I never really played these games as a kid.
I mean, if you want to celebrate Donktober next year, let's do it. Come on.
Donktober.
Call of Duty Mobile surpassed 1 billion downloads.
Whoa.
Incredible.
Talk about the umbrella.
Yeah.
Talk about the franchise. We don't even talk about mobile that often. Microtransactions are going down in mobile.
Oh, yeah. They're going
mobile
down.
has got money being printed over there.
Oh, yeah.
What a wild
I saw a guy in his car yesterday playing it. It was
No
fire.
way,
Yeah, he
really?
was just fucking gaming in the Lucky parking lot. You know what I mean? Just alone. It's fine.
That's crazy.
I was surprised when I was hanging out with my family this weekend. I was hanging out with my brother-in-law, and he was talking about how, I asked him, I was like, do you still play video games? Because he used to play FIFA back in the day. And he was like, no, I got rid of my PlayStation when I had my baby, but sometimes I'll play Call of Duty Mobile on my phone. And I'm like, how is that? And he was like, oh, I got this thing called the Backbone. And I was like, damn.
Yep.
I didn't realize that it was
Like
like
that.
that.
Yeah.
I thought the Backbone was something that Greg Miller would keep talking
like
about all the
that.
time. But no, people are out here on the streets playing Call of Duty with the Backbone. He was saying that it was really great. So
That's cool. 1 billion downloads.
crazy.
Holy cow, man.
This next one's from VGC. Striking New York Times workers are asking Wordle and Connections players to stop playing the popular daily games until the strike is resolved. Tech workers at the media company are reportedly in a dispute over concerns related to, but not exclusively, remote/hybrid work, just cause protections, something the newsroom union has, and pay equity/fair pay. So yeah, if you want to support the workers out there, put down the Wordle and Connections for a bit, let that shit marinate.
Okay.
It sucks because I think people really care about the streaks, which I understand.
Oh, snap.
But
not the streaks.
yeah, you got a choice. All right.
Developers on the back end sneak into work one day, pause the streaks,
Pause the
we'll
streaks.
all support.
Yeah, let people redo their streaks.
Yeah.
From PC Gamer, Dragon Age boss says a legendary edition style remaster of the old games in the series is unlikely because there's maybe 20 people left at BioWare who know how the engine works. And so
That's crazy.
crazy, but also makes sense. From VGC again, Apex Legends Season 23 From the Rift launches today with a new mode that recreates the Battle Royale's launch date from 2019. I want to try this.
What?
Yeah, quote, this new limited time mode drops you right into that original experience, complete with original everything, weapons, legends, abilities,
No
rule set,
way.
and map. Yeah,
Damn.
I need to jump into this.
Okay, that might get me to jump back into it. That's crazy.
I know. I love when games do this.
We jumping back into Skulltown, bro?
Dude. Oh man, don't get me started about OG Skulltown.
You remember OG Skulltown, man? That's crazy.
And then lastly, Metal Slug Tactics review roundup we got for you. It's on Metacritic at a 78. It's on OpenCritic at a 79. IGN gave it an 8 out of 10 and says Metal Slug Tactics lives up to its stone cold classic namesake from SNK's golden era with its painstakingly detailed pixel art, head-bopping soundtrack, and snappy structure. It also got a 76 at PC Gamer and a 3.5 out of 5 at Games Radar Plus, and that is it for Wii News.
Me and Roger are excited to check this one out.
It looks really cool.
I played some demos during Steam Next Fest. I am excited about this. I think the art style is beautiful, especially when you talk about Metal Slug. It's always been popping off the screen. I like the tactics. I think there's some very interesting map layouts of what you can do with the guns and the special abilities with grenades and different heroes. I'm excited to jump into this tonight.
I played a very small amount of it, and I got my ass kicked
Yes.
immediately. Like
Oh,
it was brutal, and I was on not easy mode, but I was like normal mode, and I was like, okay, maybe not for me, but it's gorgeous to look at. Gorgeous to look at.
Some super chats for you. Kebab says, I thought the poll was about modern only AC. Listen, I didn't make the poll. All right.
Okay, and also,
See,
you're
now-
Kebabs, you're listening to the show.
Got
You know
a
what I mean?
wrong-
Like, you
got a
get
wrong
what the
vote out there.
context is.
Recount the votes.
you're listening.
Wrong day to do that.
Recount. Stop the count.
Or maybe it's the right day to do it.
Oh Lord, man. Oh, we're not gonna get into it. And then we have one more from Nigel who writes in and says, this is Nigel Martin, 35. Without Halo 2, we'd still be trying to find our friends game on a long list of servers. Matchmaking and friends list debuted with Halo 2.
Amazing. That's amazing.
It's huge.
Yeah, this was it, Bless.
Yeah.
Xbox Live back in the day, strapping on a headset, screaming at people from across the world, just gaming. Dual-wielded SMGs, back punching people in the back.
That's the one thing where, like,
God, it was the greatest time, Bless.
again, if I could relive my gaming life, like, I have a few things on the list. One,
Yeah.
I would go back and, like, give myself a GameCube because I missed the
Love it.
entire GameCube era,
Yeah,
and I was an N64 kid. And so, like, there were so many things that I really wanted to try out. Never got to get into Melee, never got to
little
get
tiny
into
discs,
tiny discs.
little button in the middle,
Mario
you press
Sunshine,
it, and it
Soul
pop up.
Calibur 2 with Link in it. Like, so many of that.
That
so
was
many of those
crazy. I
things.
remember that.
I
That was
know.
crazy.
But then I would also go back and relive the Half-Life, or not Half-Life, relive, like, PC gaming and give myself, like, a gaming PC as a kid. So I can,
Whoa.
like, play the Half-Lives,
Yeah.
play the Unreal Tournaments of the world,
StarCraft.
play some StarCraft, right? Like, get really into World of Warcraft,
Oh.
have that. And then my third option, I guess after those, would be to maybe give myself an OG Xbox.
Yeah.
Because I didn't get into online gaming until the PS3.
Oh, that's crazy, man.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah.
I'll tell
PS2
you
was an
what, bro.
offline console for me.
Man, I strapped that big brick to the back of my PS2, bro. You had to screw it in and stuff. Playing SOCOM back in the day on the PS2 online was crazy, Bless.
Man, I wish I had
that.
that.
Was an experience. Yeah, this is the one. If you could send me back in time, these are the moments that I would relive. This Halo 2 to Halo 3, just prime 8th grade to senior year of high school for Mike, is just an insane time period.
That's awesome.
No schoolwork,
Yeah.
no care about homework. Come home and just play.
Dude,
For
I-
hours. That's all I ever did.
I wish that. There's an alternate timeline version of me, like a Universe 2 version of me,
Yeah.
that was like on XCast.
Yes.
That was like the biggest Xbox person.
You, me, and Paris just hanging out with Gary. Is
just
right.
talking about Halo. You know,
I like you had with Gary. You know
With
what I mean?
Gary.
Like he's always
Yeah,
secondary.
he's in there, he's in there, he's in
always
there.
Secondary.
we got Know Your Wrongs. I just checked.
Oh,
All right?
very good,
Yeah,
very
we
good.
had a flawless game, which brings us to the end of this episode of Kind of Funny Games Daily, Mike. Our second one of the week. But guess
Oh.
what? Me and you will be back at it like a bad habit.
Yes, we
All
will
right.
be. Yes, we will be.
Of course, this has been KFGD. Each and every weekday, we run you through the nerdy news you need to know about live on YouTube, Twitch, and on podcast services around the globe. If you love what we do, you can support us with the Kind of Funny membership on Patreon or on YouTube to get all of our shows ad-free, watch us record them live, and get a daily exclusive show. Enjoy the GAMESCAST next, which is going to be our Life is Strange Spoilercast, and the stream after, which is going to be some Death Note. But until next time, Game Daily.